you so much. The program is still alive here, and yesterday it was reported on most breaking news that xenophobic attack seems to have reoccurred in South Africa. And this time we're told that in the province of Umbalala in South Africa, 3 Nigerians were attacked yesterday and seriously injured. And you know, if you followed me at my introduction, I said that I said a word in South Africa that is something that has to do with humanitarian, humanity, so to say, that once you say that word in South Africa, it means that you see the humanity in you in another person. Now, as an art student, I remember way back in the Faculty of Arts, we had a very simple expression that humanities, that we develop humanities via the humanities. In other words, we see other people as humans just the way we are. Well, to look at the issues in South Africa one more time, we are so privileged to have Dr. Mrs. Stella Omonigo from the Faculty of Arts, University of Benin, and also Dr. Logat Sado from the Faculty of Sociology and Anthropology, University of Benin. You're welcome, lady and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Welcome to this program.
Thank you.
Now, let's quickly look at the issues in South Africa. Can we ever have a situation whereby there's no xenophobic attack anymore in South Africa? Dr. Mrs.
Well, to start with, good morning, viewers at home. I don't think we are in the position to judge whether we'll ever have such a situation in South Africa, because we don't have a control over another country. And of course, you don't have a control over another person's heart or mind or the way of reasoning. So ruling out the fact that there might not be xenophobic attack at any time in South Africa, I don't think that should come, you know, to surface at all, because we should always expect the worst from people who oppose themselves continually as a menace to our people.
Okay. Now, the word is Ubuntu. Ubuntu in South Africa means that is an expression that connotes an ideology. It means that I see the human being that I am in you. So once you say Ubuntu in South Africa, it shows that that person is not supposed to, you know, attack you. Now, Dr. Logat Sado, Ubuntu is no more in South Africa. What is going on?
Good morning, people. I think that it's unfortunate that we are having a resurgence of xenophobic attack again in South Africa. That Ubuntu is no longer in South Africa is maybe a general statement. I think that a few persons are the ones perpetrating this xenophobic attack. And that's why we think that the government of the day must take responsibility in making sure that, first of all, they educate the people through what we might refer to as cultural revaluation and, of course, orientation of the people, so that the people will come to understand that is indeed all humans are the same, and that there is really no clear-cut difference between a Nigerian, a Namibian, or a South African. And I think that the orientation of the average South African man is very important on this matter, so that they will learn to appreciate other people as partners in progress. I think generally the problem is in terms of threats. They think that other ethnic nationalities, in fact other nationals in their countries, are like competing with them and taking that which they think is their natural rights. But they should be told that life is about competition, and that it's about competition and fair play, and that they should give everyone equal opportunity, and that means that they should develop themselves. Okay. Like we said in one forum, we did say that the average South African needs to rediscover himself or herself and be able to develop themselves to a point where they can also contribute to national development.
But I think we also need to look at, because like this attack now, there are allegations that this time it was drug peddlers that they attacked. As a matter of fact, it was also told, it's also been told that a patent medicine dealer was attacked, that they sell drugs indiscriminately at Umbalago province. So I think I'm not trying to make a save for the attacks, but we should be able to talk against some of the evil, you know, that some nationals perpetrate in South Africa. Dr. Mrs.
Yes, let me take it off from there. I will say that these speculations, are they confirmed? Are they confirmed that these speculations that they are attacking only drug dealers, or these people that are attacking are drug dealers, have they been confirmed by the police or by the necessary authority? I don't think so, because if actually it had been confirmed, we would have been hearing it all over the news, and we would have been hearing it all over the social media that these ones that they attacked were actually drug pushers. But that aside, you know, the last time this thing happened, we were talking about their president coming to Nigeria to come and tender an apology. And the last time I was on set here with you, I asked, how genuine is that apology? Because there's one thing in coming to apologize to Nigerians, and another thing in, you know, curtailing that evil act. I have always seen South Africans as extremists. I'm sorry to use the word as extremists. What do I say? So we studied apartheid in school, and if you looked at the way, you know, during the apartheid period, the way they went about it, you could see their extreme actions, you know, against this, against that. But the present one is extreme actions against fellow Africans. Now, if you think that somebody is dealing in drugs, why would you take laws into your hands by killing the person, going ahead to kill the person? Why not hand over the person to the appropriate authority? In fact, when I went through the Punch newspaper yesterday, I discovered that even the South African police were now, you know, alerting Nigerians to avoid a certain area. Not because all Nigerians there are actually drug dealers. And like what Dr. Sado just speculated now, or just you know, told us now, it's not about drug dealing or not. It's like somebody progressing more than me in my own town, I will not allow that to happen. That is what is just happening.
Okay, now Dr. Sado, let's look at diplomatic relations between these two countries now, South Africa and Nigeria. In September, you know, after those attacks that Nigerians were killed, properties destroyed and all that, we saw the apology that came from Cyril Ramaphosa, and also a special envoy from South Africa to actually tender the apology. And of course, we also saw our president going to South Africa. And a promise was made from the South African authority that they are going to, from henceforth, deal decisively with offenders. So is it just that it was mere lip service or what?
Well, thank you very much. I think that you've let the cat out of the bag already.
No, but I asked the question.
Yes, I mean, asking the question, somehow you gave me a clue to answering that particular question. I think that the diplomatic ties between South Africa and Nigeria is still in existence. But I think that it is politically selfish. I think that the politicians are building a diplomatic tie amongst themselves at the expense of both citizens. Because in my opinion, the South African government has not done enough. Has not done enough, and it appears to me that even our own government is kind of supporting what I call this uncaptured so-called diplomatic tie that exists. I will explain to you. For instance, the South African government came and apologized to us for the destruction and for the loss of lives. Our government said there was no loss of life. So I'm worried, like I told you in one of those the time we had here, that how can you come and apologize to a people who said they didn't lose anyone, and you are saying that your people killed some of their people? That's another point. So I think that there's a lot of cover-up between the diplomatic group of persons from South Africa and the ones in Nigeria. Now, what is resurfacing now is a clear indication that the South Africans did not put their foot to work. They made a verbal promise which is not being enforced back there in South Africa. For instance, since after the last xenophobic attack, how many conscious efforts has the South African government made towards reducing the impact of xenophobic attack? What kind of awareness programs did they carry out? Those highly prone areas susceptible to attacks, did they deploy more policemen there? Did they set up more CCTV camera there to capture any of such activities?
So when you say prone areas now, this new one on Bolago was never captured as a prone area. The last one we had was in Jeppastown, you know, in Johannesburg. So I think it's also a difficulty for the authority in South Africa to really know where to really attend to. Dr. Mrs.
Yes, let me take it up from there. He made a very, very valid point. You know, when people come to tender apologies, we will know the genuineness of that apology by the implementation of agreements that were reached. There were some agreements that were reached with that apology. Has any of them been implemented? The answer is no. And what did the South African government do, or what effort did they make, you know, to implement those agreements? Nothing. Then what about our own government, Nigerian government? If the South African government is not forthcoming in implementing the content of the agreement reached by the two governments, what did our own government do? You know, even representatives of Nigerian government in South Africa do to enforce or to ensure that these promises and these agreements were implemented, nothing. Now this is it. In the other time where the xenophobic attack happened, it did not happen in this area. Those ones have now seen, and no arrest was made.
Okay.
It was recorded that no arrest was made to date. Now, when you see that something was, an evil act was perpetrated and nobody was arrested, another area will start. Let me tell you, other areas will start, like, see, up till now, that person, the taxi driver who stabbed the Nigerian and attacked the other 3 people, has not been arrested till now. Now they are saying that the person is at large, no trace, but they saw the taxi, they know in whose name the taxi was registered. You see, this all shows what the ingenuity of the South African government towards the Nigerian people in South Africa.
Doctor, because of time now,
yes.
Dr. Sado, you are a sociologist, and your responsibility is to look at the human behavior. Now, sometime in South Africa, Ubuntu, it was an expression. Now, once you say Ubuntu to a fellow, it means that, look, you are a human being the way I am. And I remember when Nelson Mandela died, at the burial, former president of US, Barack Obama, even mentioned that word Ubuntu, and of course he got the hailing from the crowd and all that. Now, what do you think is happening in South Africa? You know, taking into cognizance that the way they behave there, they seem not to see other human beings the way they are.
You know, we have said it over and over again. Humans change, just like things change in society. And that certain factors will make human beings to change. One major thing that makes people change across the world is bad leadership. If the government of the day is not taking good care of the people, taking care of the people the way they should, they will innovate.
Change their ideology.
They will change their ideology in order to make their voices to be heard. It's not peculiar to South Africa. The Boko Haram insurgents in northeast Nigeria, the militants in the south, are all responses to the inability of government to meet their needs. What the South Africans are doing is a response against the South African government. Unfortunately, they are taking it on fellow Africans. They are trying to tell the South African government that we do not have employment, we don't have job, we can't pay our fees, our bills, we can't take care of ourselves. So since they can't attack the police, they can't attack the military, let's attack those who are defenseless. Those who naturally have no business to be here, let's attack them. By doing that, we will get the attention of the federal government. So they still believe in Ubuntu because they don't kill their children, they don't kill their spouses. But just to show that these ones, you are blacks, but you are not South Africans, and so go. And if government wants you to remain here, let government get us settled. Until government decides, South African government in particular, decides to address the issues of the South Africans, then be certain that the xenophobic attack will definitely continue.
All right, my two doctors, I'm afraid this is where we have to call this short now because of time factor. Subsequently, we should be able to discuss more on these issues, and we just hope and pray that the xenophobic attack in South Africa should really be stopped.